Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, allow me also to go by the protocols that have already been established to save on time. Your Excellency, umezungumza na ukasema kwamba hapa lazima tuzungumze ukweli mtupu. Na kwa sababu nataka nifuate nyayo zako, pia mimi ngoja nizungumze ukweli mtupu kuhusu hili swala. Na kabla sijazungumza, naona walanguzi wachache hapa madawa ya kulevya. Tafadhali kabla sijakutaja jina, manake nitataja. Una dakika 2 usimame utuache, manake hatuwezi kupanga ukiwa hapa, utatutatiza. Ni wataje? Sitawataja maki mamaisha anasema tafadhali usiwataje hivi leo. Your Excellency, the solution and the problem facing us is here. Because for us to help our young people save their lives from drug abuse is to make sure that these products are not in the market. As long as these products are in the market, we'll continue losing our population. Now, Your Excellency, as a country, we pride ourselves on having the best intelligence system, one of the best, if not the best. I ask myself some questions sometimes. Why we cannot get to know the source of these drugs? For the young men in Lamu, Kilifi, Kwale, name it, to access these drugs, that means there's a source somewhere. There is a source somewhere that is known by the men and women who are seated here. And I was lost for words, Your Excellency, when the IG confessed here that some of the enforcement officers receive calls not to apprehend these culprits. With that, Your Excellency, we are not going to win this war on drugs. Because clearly, the big boys are known, maybe the big girls too. But the reason why they cannot be apprehended is because of those phone calls. And as long as those phone calls will keep coming, our young people are going to die. Whether as leaders we'll scream, whether as leaders we will cry, as long as those phone calls will keep coming, we are going to lose this war. So going forward, Your Excellency, the kind of assurance that you've given and the kind of commitment that you've given to the enforcement officers, because, Your Excellency, there's nothing new that we've been told today. Hii shida tunajua. But the biggest weakness that has been there towards eradicating this menace is at the enforcement level. If you know these drug dealers, how comes they've not been apprehended? Today, if you go to the law courts, you'll see quite a number of young men and women who are being arraigned in court for being in possession of just one roll of bang. While the guy who has kilos, sacks and sacks of marijuana is seated pretty somewhere because he's untouched. We are targeting the wrong category. If we can be able to make sure that these products are no longer in the market, then we'll be saving our young people. And to do so, Your Excellency, we need to go to to the source. And with our intelligence system, we know who these drug barons are. As leaders, and I'm speaking on behalf of the leadership of the region, we are behind these efforts, Your Excellency, have no doubt. And I can speak here without any fear or contradiction that none of us were elected pursuant to funds, using funds from drug dealers. None of us benefited or has benefited from that kind of dirty funds. And therefore, on this war, you have partners in the leadership of this region. We are not just speaking because we're in this conference, but we mean it. And whatever recommendations that will be adopted from this particular conference, Your Excellency, have us as your partners in this war. But again, as I end my remarks, haya yote nimezungumza ni 9, 10 na la muhimu. We need those big boys behind bars if you're to make any meaningful progress in this war. How many of our boys in their thousands will be arraigned in court? Wakitolewa, wengine wanaletwa. How many rehabilitation centers will our governors build to, take in the thousands of our young people who are hooked to drugs? But Your Excellency, if you are able to nab the supplier, there'll be no child being arraigned in court because he's been found with a sachet of heroin. And that is where we ought to start. That is where we need to put all our efforts. How I wish the IG disclose this powerful person who can call his office na anatetemeka. Who is this who can call the IG's office and they're let scot-free? They're out there feeding our young people with all the poison they can feed them on. So again, IG, mkubwa amesema, I know hiyo simu haikutoka kwa Rigiji. That I'm very sure. I know that phone call never came from His Excellency, the President of this country. Who is this? Who can call your office and because of that call, they cannot be arrested? If you're to win this, we need to have the will and the commitment, more particularly from our enforcement unit. But otherwise, Your Excellency, count the leadership of the region as a partner in this war. Thank you.
Thank you, the Honorable Speaker. Now, on behalf of the 6 counties, I would want to call on the Governor for Kwale, then followed by the Governor for Taita, Taveta. At least let's also hear what is it that the county governments are doing to help in this fight. Karibu, Governor.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, all protocol observed. Pengine mimi sitoenda mbali sana. I want to appreciate this meeting, Your Excellency. Now, on behalf of governors and the people of Kwale, let me speak on behalf of people of Kwale. Your Excellency, pengine ni kutoe wasiwasi. Tumekuwa tupigi makelele, lakini kazi inafanyika Kwale. And that is why we have a rehabilitation center in Kwale. Now, currently in the rehabilitation center, wenye wanachukua methadone, we have around 1,000 clients kwa methadone. Na katika rehab, we have inpatient 25 na around 60 ambao ni outpatients. Lakini katika vita dhidi ya mihadarati and drug abuse, nafikiri IG amegusa pale ambapo panafaa patibiwe. ambayo ni enforcement officers. For as much as we have a rehabilitation center, for as much as tutapeana methadone, lakini wakati dawa zinaendeleza kusambazwa na enforcement officers are not taking action, bado tutakuwa tunafanya zero work. So na viongozi, kama viongozi tumechaguliwa, na in fact devolution imekuja ili ilete unafuu kule ground, and my government tumejaribu, tumetengeneza rehabilitation center, na mbali na hiyo wale vijana ambao wamekuwa wakichukua madawa, tumehakikisha zile polytechnics tunaendelea kuzijenga vizuri na kuziweka equipment so that after wakichukua dawa na wanaenda kuwa trained, wanakuwa equipped na skills. Wakipata skills wanapata opportunity ya kufanya makazi. And I want to appreciate Madam Dorcas Gachagua came to my county. Na all these issues ambazo tuko nazo tulizungumza na yeye. Na pia ni washukuru wabunge from my county. Kila mtu amejaribu kwa uwezo wake. Hii holiday karibu kila constituency vijana wamekuwa engaged kupitia zile michezo za mpira na michezo zingine zote. Na vile vile pia ili our youths wasiengage katika masuala ya miadarati, ni lazima tuhakikishe wako mashule. County government of Kwale imeweka 500 million ya kusomesha mtoto. That is why kila mwanafunzi arudi shule. Lakini sasa hivi mbali na vita za miadarati, kuna hawa juvenile. Kuna hizi sasa cases ambazo zimetoka Mombasa zimeingia Kwale. Unfortunately, hatujaona cases hizi zikiwa prosecuted. Mbali na kuwa sasa hivi zimekuwa tisho, saizi hata kufanya maharusi in some areas inakuwa problem. So IG, it's not about licensing. Hii kupeana licenses ni kazi ndogo, lakini let enforcement officers do their work. When nimejenga rehabilitation center some meters away, wameka deni hapo ya mangwe. Enforcement officers wako hapo kombani, but they can't do anything. Kama watawaacha wawe hivyo, wanachukua methadone, wanarudi wanaingia tena kukula bangi. In fact, we lost a client juzi, last week, because anachukua dawa na bado anarudi kwa miadarati. Lakini enforcement officers wako wapi? So IG, in my county, major problem ni enforcement officers. Wakifanya kazi yao, na sisi kama viongozi tufanye kazi yetu, hii kazi itakuwa rahisi sana. And because they know the hotspots, I would think enforcement officers wako katika zile hotspots. And nakada, for as much as you've mentioned about the hotspots, sidhani kama you've captured the right hotspots. So nakada pia, tusikule tu mshahara na kusema nakada we are there. Come to the ground. See what is happening on the ground. Si ile tu kuja na kusema sijui Lukore, hata nimemwangalia mheshimiwa Tandaza akawa surprised because some of the areas ambazo zimetajwa hapa, they're not the real areas ambazo ziko na issues. So even for nakada, I want you to come down. See what is happening, the real issues. Tusiandike kwa karatasi tukazungumza kwa conferences, ili hali the major problems are there. So mimi tu mheshimiwa naibu rais, nataka nikuhakikishie kama governor wa jimbo la Kwale, tuko imara. Tunapigana vita, pengine sisi si watu wa kupiga kelele sana, plus my MPs and all the leaders, but we work very closely kupigana vita na miadarati. Sijasema police officers hawafanyi kazi yao, lakini wazidishe nguvu zaidi ili tuangamize janga hili. Thank you very much.
Asante sana Governor. Governor Taita Taveta.
Your Excellency, Deputy President of Kenya, I recognize the protocol earlier on recognized. Your Excellency, your candid talk and IG, your candid talk is in the right direction. Right now, our Deputy President, we are doing a lot of work on the same. Though tunafanya ni kwa sababu mengine tunafanya chini chini. But we are doing a lot. As I'm talking right now, in my sub-county hospital vessel, we are trying to do rehabilitation. Despite Taita Taveta County, over 62% of our land has been taken by National Park. We are not getting any revenue. And at the same time, we are among the last 6 counties getting the lowest equitable share. And at the same time, Deputy President, Taita Taveta, the injustices done by the previous governments from 1964 to 2013 before devolution, no industry invested in Taita Taveta. We are already negotiating with the different stakeholders so that our youth, because we don't have any industry in Taita Taveta, and we are developing them right now. We are negotiating with the different stakeholders like APZ in different, so that we can engage our youth. And we are also trying in all directions to talk to our young men. Also with our security in Taita Taveta. We regularly talk about this issue, about it, because actually drugs and alcohol, especially alcohol, mbangara, is a really menace to Taita Taveta. Our youth are in tatters, they're in bad condition. I wish this talk was done before. IG, what you have said over here, I'm sure it's an eye-opener. But there is always a beginning. Let's work as all stakeholders in this problem. Some of these meetings, you always make them here in Mombasa. You don't make these meetings in Taita. You should send some of these meetings in Taita so that they can spread all over, because I'm sure Mombasa people, they're more here than any other county. We should bring them to Taita so that we can also spread the message properly, because some counties, you know, as if I don't know what happened, we don't see some of you, our Deputy President. In fact, I'm welcoming you to Taita Taveta. I will hide, because the talk you have said over here, for sure, Mheshimiwa Deputy President, umeongea vizuri sana. Na tunaongea sana haya maswala ya pombe, maswala ya drugs, kwa sababu even right now, you go to our nurseries, it's serious. You'll find a school just 3 years back, it used to have about 40 students. Like right now, unakuta wako watoto wawili, watatu, wanne. Even we feel threatened.